Now that Ten Hag has firmly got his feet under the Man United table, I want to give him 3 things he needs to do if he wants to keep his job to the long haul. We'll do like doing the charts, shall we? From 3 to 2 to 1. As they say, whoever they are, 3 is the magic number. Number 3, be your own man. This is so vital for him to keep his job. He needs to show shades, not of religion or Ronaldo, but shades, and somebody did say that by the way, shock horror, shades of Van Gaal and Mourinho. His way or the highway, not listening to outside influences, but being the main man. You could say it was Mourinho-esque when he went to the front of the queue where the journalists were and shook all their hands. Because if it does go pear-shaped, he's going to need all the world and its wife on his side. And you don't want to make an enemy of the journalists. I'm sure that Gary Cottrell's not going to be on his Christmas card list. After Ten Hag's security guard pushed him out of the way and he said, "Get off me." That sort of thing. And you could say that it was a little bit predictable, a little bit cheesy, a little bit, why are you doing that for? But I guess, he thought it was the right thing to do. So that's something that, that's good from my point of view. And do you know what I loved? His Dan Pan expression, where he had to be forced to watch Top Reds singing his song. And he was going to, and his face looked like, do I have to sit through this? Or in this case, at the time standing. He was cringing. So I loved that he didn't like it and didn't even raise a smile. So that was good. Good start there. I like that. Number 2. Don't appease the Top Reds. That's something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did, especially in his first season. And I hated it from day 1. Mourinho, to his credit, did alienate the Top Reds. He wanted to sell Anthony Martial, but was overruled by none other than Joe Glazer. Now, Joe Glazer seems to be the only person in the family who has a little bit of dress sense and actually spruces himself up. His brother, on the other hand, less so. So I do think Joe Glazer is a communicator, despite the hate that people have on him. But I do remember his interview on METV when they first, and that was brave of him. He didn't have to go to METV and say what he said. He could have went on his chopper helicopter and just ran away. But he faced the music. He faced METV, and you got to give him credit for that. I know where Avram Grant was at the time. Avram Glazer was at the time. I know what Avram Grant was. It was, was a Porter, was he? Somewhere along the line there. So Joe Glazer deserves credit for that. He didn't stick by his word though. But I did like that because I remember watching that interview. But I digress. Mourinho alienated the British player, Porky Pig. And Torres come out and say, "Oh, he's bullying him." No, he's not bullying him. It's called tough love. Mourinho did that at Madrid and Chelsea. And if that happened to Marouane Fellaini, Top Reds would 100% agree with the decision. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. Because Top Reds hated Fellaini. That's why they booed him not once but twice. 1 in a pre-season friendly against Valencia, and 2 against Spurs when we won 1-0. That tells you all you need to know about Top Reds. That's why I can't stand them. YouTuber Top Reds and the like. Because I've got the measure of them, and they know that as well. I'm a good judge of character. Mourinho swatted aside Fraudsteiger and he rotted in the reserves without a locker. Because I said at the time Mourinho was watching from afar that an absolute contempt that Fraudsteiger had for Man United Football Club. He didn't do the same with Fraudlin, but he didn't play him. And I remember when we drew with Arsenal 1-1 in Mourinho's first season. And he said, and I quote, "I wanted to bring Marouane Fellaini on." He had Fraudlin on the bench. His heart must have sank when he heard Mourinho say that. A dagger to his very heart. And he got rid of both Depay, Fraudsteiger, and Fraudlin in January, I believe. So he got credit in the bank from me for doing that. It's a good job on that one. Obviously, he fell on his sword a year later, and Torres only wanted him out because he alienated Shaw and wanted to sell Martial. If it was Fellaini, as I said, they wouldn't blink an eyelid, they wouldn't care one jot. But that's Torres for you, isn't it? Their first word wasn't money, it was money, money! Because they would sell their fucking grandma down the river to make a couple of quid. Hence, some of them, well, in particular, going on Talk Sport. Odd, ain't it? Trying to brainwash the fan base. Won't work with me. Because I'll always be here to counteract it. Don't you worry about that. So that's second. Number 1. Sell Maguire and Shaw. We need to do that because they've been god-awful since the day they arrived. And this could be, horror of horrors, the 8th season of Porky Pig. That is a disgrace. That shows how bad we are as a football club. An absolute disgrace. That shouldn't happen in a month of Sundays. I was calling out Porky Pig and I had a little bit of a spat with some of the fans on Twitter. And I was right. And I hated Maguire ever since we signed him. He could have stat-padded a league title like Jack Grealish did. But he chose money over trophies. He didn't want success. He wanted to come to Man United, and I bet he regrets that ever since. And it's funny, isn't it, doing a Nigel Farage there, that I was the first one, it's not an opinion, it's a fact, to criticise Wamba Krapa and Pascal Siegel with hair. And Top Reds have finally caught up. Welcome to the 21st century. Welcome to my world. It took you this long to criticise him. You should have done it like I did. But because Ole Gunnar Knobhead was a former manager, a former player, because they couldn't insinuate from the manager and the player, they agreed with every single decision he made. Absolute disgrace. It really was. He's got to sell Donny van der Beek, because if he doesn't sell the players I've mentioned, he will not last the season. Donny van der Beek is incapable of playing in the Premier League. He's like Davy Klaassen. Now, Donny van der Beek may have scored against Arsenal on the last day of the season, but it lost 5-1. The same, but without reply, they lost 5-0 against Spurs. There's no coincidence that Everton did very well once Donny van der Schijt went. And he's becoming injury prone as well, by the way. He was out for weeks on weeks after injuring himself in the warm-up just before Everton were going to play West Ham, but the shithole that is the London Stadium. So if he does what I've just said, players to get rid of, then he'll have my full backing. If he doesn't, I'll be teetering on the brink of being Ten Hag out. Rest assured that will happen if he doesn't do what I say he should do. I say very little and get things right. Top Reds say a lot and they get things wrong. That's the difference between me and them. Because you need players you can trust, and somewhere along the line, Maguire and Shaw will backstab Ten Hag in the back if he alienates them. So get rid of them now to make sure it doesn't happen further down the line if you go and keep them. So that's my advice for number 1, from me to him. So hopefully he listens to me and heeds it. And there's loads of people coming out of the woodwork saying, you've got to back Ten Hag. Not to me personally, but people who may criticise him if he makes a decision they don't agree with. It's like that Mr. Gilbert line in In-Betweeners. You can if you like, but I won't be there. I'm not playing these games anymore. 10-year anniversary is the last time we win the league, by the way, next year. So long since we won one. We've won cups, but let's allude to this as the Premier League post-Ferguson. So that's what we have to aim to win. So those are the 3 things that I want him to do. Just to recap. 3, be your own man. 2, don't appease Top Reds. Sell like Donny van der Beek, Maguire and Shaw. So there you have it.